Hi everyone, this is Michelle. Yes, you're at Tula. Well, I'm at home, but I'm filming for Tula. And this is Oliver, one of my little puppies. He's gonna be doing yoga with me today because he's gonna photobomb, probably a lot. And I have one more dog, Benjamin. He's probably also gonna be photobombing. So just, a little heads up, there might be barking in the background if there's deer, or possibly just coming and sitting on my mat, huh Ben? Yeah. So anyway, Benjamin and Oliver, they want to do yoga with me. You'll see them. Hi Val. Okay guys, so today is an all level. What was I gonna say? You may want something for underneath your knees. So we're gonna get started soon. Make sure your mat is out, and we're gonna start on our back. So for some reason, every time I start taping, the TV comes on. I don't know why. So go ahead and get to your mat. I'm gonna turn off the TV. I don't know why. It's like I think I have a ghost. All right, so weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, okay. Go ahead and come to your back on the floor. And we're coming into pawn gesture. Just means that your knees are bent. And we're going to just take a little time here, letting our body relax towards the floor. Take some big breaths here, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Let the breaths be nice, long, and slow. When you're ready, hug your knees towards you. There could be gentle movement here if you like, or stay still if your body prefers. Very nice. Bring your knees back to center. Stack the knees right over the hips. Extend your arms out to the sides, palms down. Pressing into your right hand and arm, gently draw the knees and feet to the right. Coming into that revolved Apanasana. Let your left palm open up towards the ceiling. If this feels like too much into your low back, slide a fist between your knees or underneath the bottom knee, or if you have a pillow, whatever you want there. Good. Pressing into the right hand and arm, come all the way back to center. We're switching sides. On the exhale, draw the knees to the left, the feet to the left, and let the right palm open up towards the ceiling. Very nice. Push into the left hand and arm. Come all the way back. Go ahead and find your happy baby. Remember that you can use movement here. You can stay still. You choose what your body needs today. All right. Keeping your left hand and foot together, set the right foot to the floor. this might be enough for a lot of us. Some of us might want more of a thigh stretch. So if you want that, extend your right leg away. Right front of your thigh is going to get a really nice stretch here. Continue to draw the left knee towards the floor. All right, bring that right hand and foot back together. Set the left foot to the floor. Now remember, each side is different. Just because you might have extended that right leg, the left leg may not be as open to doing that. So test the waters here without just assuming that that left leg is ready to straighten. Continue to draw the right knee towards the ground. Very nice. Bring it back into your happy baby. Good. Let's push the heels towards the ceiling as we straighten the legs. Good. Pull the toes towards the knees. Press through the heels. Feel the back of your legs really stretching out here. Good. Now point the toes and press through the heels. Do that a few times on your own. Good. Bring it back to center. Hang out here or take your hands behind your legs and just give subtle guidance, drawing those feet closer towards your head. Very nice. Take the feet back over the hips, set the feet to the floor. Roll up or turn to your side and meet me on hands and knees. Good. On hands and knees, let's go ahead and take a few cat and cow. And just for today, close your eyes as you're moving in and out of cat and cow. And imagine your spine. And see if you can move one vertebra at a time, keeping everything else still. Practicing the intention, just moving one vertebra at a time. One more time through. And then we'll meet back in tabletop. From tabletop, bring the big toes together. Take the knees out to the side, and let's go ahead and find child pose. In child pose, relax the elbows, the shoulders, the face, the hips. Very nice. Inhale, shift up onto hands and knees. And walk your knees back into your supported plank. In supported plank, let's push our hands down and forward. Keep your head from dropping down. So you want the back of the head in line with the rest of your spine. Good. Engage the belly here. Feel the muscles in your chest and your upper back and the belly starting to warm. Very nice. Shift the hips back over the knees, curl your toes. And let's come into the first downward dog with knees generously bent. Imagine bringing your belly and your upper thighs together, getting the sides and the back nice and long through the spine. Rib cage is nice and long. Avoid letting your rib cage drop to the floor, right? So we want to practice balance. Engaging in the back body. Now let's go ahead and pedal our feet here, bending one knee at a time. Maybe the other leg will straighten out. Listen to your body, do what feels best. And coming back into your downward dog. Maybe check to see if you can start to straighten the legs. If it feels too much in your low back or in the back of your legs, then keep your legs bent. For a little more work here, separate the feet a little more. Bring weight into your right hand, left hand to the lower right leg, looking underneath the right arm, excuse me. Bringing the left hand back to our mat, we'll switch sides. Right hand comes back to the mat. Let's take ourselves all the way forward into forward fold. So take your time walking to the top of your mat. Coming into forward fold. Remember, bend the knees as much as you need so you feel fine in your low back, that the back of your legs are not feeling strained at all. Shift a little more weight into the ball of the foot, less into the heel. This will encourage the forward tilt of the pelvis, keeping you from rounding in the low back. You can have a prop underneath your hands if the floor is too far away today. Maybe a little ragdoll if you prefer. And on your next inhale, let's come into flat back. Hands at the upper thighs for this one. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, something to practice every time that you're coming into your flat back. Very useful in our other poses as well. Exhale, fold. Let's deepen the bend in the knees. Push the feet away from center as you travel up. That's your reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to your heart. Coming into mountain pose. In mountain pose, make sure that your feet are hip distance apart. And I'm not talking the outside of the hips. I'm talking where your thigh bones are attaching into the pelvis. Good. Palms facing forward, relax the shoulder blades down and take a micro bend to your knees. We're going to do sun salute 2 times through. So at the top of your mat, In your mountain pose, start to engage your bandhas, right? Creating that dynamic tension in the body. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Feel the vibration of your breath and let that be your focus through your practice. On the next breath you take in, let the hands travel up overhead. And as you exhale, hinge in the hips, coming into your first forward fold for sun salute. Sorry, I'm going to move back. Inhale into flat back. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. Step the right side back into your low lunge. Inhale into high lunge. Remember, if this bothers your back foot, you can set the back foot to the floor like warrior one. There we go. Now you can see it in the frame. Exhale, hands back to props or the floor. Sweep it back into your downward dog. Inhale into plank or kneeling plank. Little push of the toes. Exhale, chaturanga or kneeling chaturanga. Set the knees to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, shift your hips back over the knees first. Then curl the toes to come back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg into the air for three-legged dog. Exhale, pull the right leg through into low lunge. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale the hands back to props or the floor and step up into forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold. Deep bend to the knees, reverse the swan dive. Hands to your heart center as you release your breath. Inhale, hands draw up overhead. Gentle bow as we release our breath, hinging in our hips, soft knees. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold. Left side's turn to step back into low lunge. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale, hands back to props or the floor. Sweep it back into downward dog. Inhale into your plank or kneeling plank. Little push of the toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, shift your hips back. Then curl your toes coming into downward dog. Inhale, left leg into the air for three-legged dog. Draw the left leg through into low lunge, tucking that knee towards your chest. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale the hands back to the floor and step up into forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, let it go. Let's reverse our swan dive, pushing the feet away from center as we travel up. Exhale, bow forward into forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Right side steps back into the low lunge. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale back into low lunge. Sweep it back into downward dog. Inhale into plank or kneeling plank. Little push of your toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg into the air for three-legged dog. Exhale, pull the right leg through into low lunge. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale back to low lunge and step up into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Deep bend in the knees, reverse the swan dive. Gentle bow as you release your breath, hinging forward in the hips. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold. Sorry. So the left side steps back into low lunge. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale the hands back to props or the floor. Sweep back into downward dog. On the next breath, inhale, shift into your plank or kneeling plank. I'm going to show kneeling this time. It's a little push of the toes, bend the elbows 2 inches for your chaturanga. Flatten the feet, rise up with your heart, cobra. Exhale, shift the hips back over your knees to protect that low back. Then curl the toes, come into downward dog. Inhale, left leg into the air for three-legged dog. Now let's say pulling that left leg through is too much. Okay, you can walk forward to the top of the mat and just put that left leg forward and set the right foot back. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale, forward fold. Exhale, low lunge. Step up into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let it go. Deeper bend to our knees, reverse the swan dive. Hands to heart center as we release the breath. Very nice. So hopefully we're warmed up now. Sorry, I have to keep adjusting myself on the mat because I see that I'm going out of frame. So apologize about that. All right, so at the top of the mat in your mountain, step the right side back into your high lunge. Okay, rear knee reaching away, press through the ball of the back foot. Engage the belly as you're holding here, especially if you feel this in the low back. If it's too much in the low back, take a tiny bend forward, right? And then continue to reach through the rear knee. Inhale, hands up overhead if you like. Shoulders are soft. Very good. Hang out here, or on your next exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, twist towards the left knee. Keep reaching through the right knee. This helps stabilize your pose. Inhale back to center. If you twisted, everyone take it back into low lunge. Very nice. Hang out right here in low lunge, or on the exhale, twist again towards that left knee. The left hand can come to the waist this first time. Reach through the right knee. Inhale back into low lunge, wherever you are. Sweep it or step all the way up into forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold. Deeper bend to the knees, reverse the swan dive. Hands to your heart as you release your breath. Left side steps back into your high lunge. Remember, reach through the rear knee. So if I collapse my knee, where am I going? I'm going down, right? We want a lifting feeling in this pose. So front knee is in line with second and third toe. Reach through the rear knee, push into the ball of the back foot like you're pushing down on an accelerator in the car. Okay? Inhale, hands up overhead. Remember, if this is too much into your low back, take a slight bow forward. Hang out here, or on the exhale, hands come to heart. Inhale here. Exhale, twisting towards the right. Very nice. Inhale back in the center. Exhale, everyone back into your low lunge. Good. Hang out here if the twisting is too much today. Or left hand to our prop or the floor. Exhale, push out of the left hand and twist towards the right. Again, if my back knee is bending, I'm going to be collapsing in this pose. Reach through the back knee, press through the back heel. This is going to stabilize your pose. Inhale back into low lunge, sweep it back into downward dog. Hang out here in downward dog, or take your vinyasa, it's also named half series or flow, half flow. Basically that's plank or kneeling plank, chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then back into downward dog. That's a vinyasa. Good. In your own time, take a slow walk forward to the top of your mat, coming into forward fold. On the next breath, inhale into flat back. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, belly's engaged, top of the head reaching away from your tailbone. Exhale, fold. Deeper bend to the knees, reverse the swan dive. Hands to your heart center as you release the breath. Okay, right side steps back into high lunge. Remember when I said, if that bothers your back foot, set the heel to the floor and find your warrior one, right? So if you have plantar fasciitis, or if you have anything going on in the feet that high lunge and low lunge hurt, set the back foot like warrior one. All right. So in our high lunge or our warrior one, we're going to do a little flow here. As you exhale the breath, take a bow, stretch your fingertips towards the back of the mat. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, taking a bow. Inhale, lifting breath. Exhale, sinking breath. 3 more times on your own. Holding that last high lunge or warrior one that's lifted. And then exhale into warrior two, pivoting the back foot. Good. Bring your hands to your waist. Right? You'll probably see your rear hip is sitting higher than the lead hip. Contract the muscles in your inner thighs. So squeeze those muscles, drop the rear hip down. You're going to feel the back leg working much harder, but much more space on this rear side. On the next breath, reverse your warrior, flipping the lead hand. Let the left shoulder stay soft away from the ear. We don't want to have this lift coming from the shoulder, hiking up to the ear. Lots of pressure in the left side of the neck. Exhale back into warrior two. Bring your left forearm to the left upper thigh and the right hand to the waist, coming into extended angle. Release that back hip. Shift your pelvis towards the back of your mat, and I'm talking the short edge. Feel the length on the left side of your body. This is how our extended angle should feel, instead of a rounding forward feeling. Good. Take your right hand, reach towards the back of the mat, and let the thumb point up towards the ceiling. Good. Squeeze your right shoulder blade towards the left shoulder blade without letting that right hand move behind you. Inhale the right hand up over the shoulder. And when we come back into warrior two, we're going to let the right hand lift us up. So remember, you heard me saying lifting breath and sinking breath. On your inhale, let the right hand pull you up out of this pose, and on the exhale, sink into your warrior two. Very nice. Very nice. Take that left leg, straighten without locking the knee, lift the left toes, bring the toes to the long edge of the mat. Big toes aligning, feet running parallel. Hands to the waist, take a bow into Prasarita. Yes, your butt is going to go behind the heels. Once you get all the way into your Prasarita, shift your hips in line with the ankles. Inhale into flat back. We're going to work on the back side now. Exhale, fold. Deeper bend to the knees. Walk to the back of the mat into your low lunge. Good. Step all the way up into forward fold. I'm going to try to arrange myself here for the camera so I'm going to turn sideways on my mat. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold. Deep bend to the knees, reverse the swan dive. Hands to your heart as you release the breath. All right, so on the other side it was right side back, so this side is left side back. So left side back, coming into your high lunge. All right, now I'm kind of at an angle here on my mat, so I'm proper with the camera. Front knee is in line with the second and third toe. Reach through the rear knee, engage your belly. This is going to support your low back. Hands can draw up overhead if you like. Now flowing with your breath. Exhale, take a bow. Fingertips stretch towards the back of the mat. Inhale, come up. Follow your breath. Let the breath be slow, steady, and smooth. Three more times. Holding that last high lunge or warrior one. And then move into your warrior two, letting the left hand stretch back, pivoting on the left foot. Firm your inner thigh muscles so that you can drop the rear hip down without overstraining at the attachment of the pelvis. Extend the arms away. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right shoulder soft away from our ear. So this is all working through our center spine, our thoracic spine, not through the neck, looking up. Okay? Good. Exhale back into warrior two. Free this back hip as you bring your right lower arm onto the thigh. Good. Feel the length on the right side of your body here. It's like we're pushing down into that right leg, getting longer through the spine. Belly's engaged, reaching through the spine. You're doing great. Take your left hand, reach it towards the left foot. Now let the thumb on that left hand point up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Hand comes up over the shoulder as you squeeze the left shoulder blade towards the right. Watch that the head is not draping down to the right shoulder or hunching up to your left shoulder. So practicing the head in line with the rest of the spine. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Inhale, reach with that left hand, lifting breath. Exhale, back into warrior two. Straighten the right leg, moving back to the long edge of your mat. Hands to the waist if you like, or hands can come back behind you with the palms facing together, either this way or this way for a little more intensity. Prayer hands or reverse prayer hands. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, bow forward, watch that the chin does not leave you. Good, if the hands are behind you, take them to your prop or the floor, shift the hips back in line so that the hip bone where the thigh is attaching is in line with your ankle bone. Left hand to your prop or the floor, right hand to the waist. As you exhale the breath, push out of the left hand and gently twist to the right. Keep the hand at the waist or reach that hand up over the shoulder. So the right shoulder should feel no pinching. If you feel a pinching in your shoulder, bring the hand back to the waist. Inhale back into center. Right hand to the floor, left hand to your waist. Remember how I talked about pushing out of the right hand. So as you push out of the right hand, we're stabilizing the pelvis, working through our center spine, opening the chest. Good. Keep the hand at the waist or reach the hand up over the shoulder. You choose where you want to be. Make sure that the left hand is not going back behind you. That's over movement, right? So keep the left hand in your peripheral view. If you feel this in your right inner thigh, squeeze that right inner thigh muscle and see if that feels better. Inhale back into center. Holding into Prasarita. Very good. Inhale into flat back. Deepen the bend in the knees. Walk, walk, walk to the front of your mat, coming into your low lunge. Sweep back into downward dog. Inhale into your plank or kneeling plank. Okay, making sure I'm still in the screen. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, back into Child Pose. One more round of your breath. When you feel ready, come back into your downward dog. In your own time, take a walk forward to the top of the mat, coming into forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold. Deepen bend in the knees, reverse swan dive, hands to your heart center as you release the breath. Right side steps back into warrior two. Okay. So remember how it felt in extended angle. Okay, so the underside of our body was nice and long, and we want to mimic that again when we come into our triangle pose. So let's first come into your extended angle, letting that right hip move back, right? So I'm letting that right hip flow, right? Instead of keeping my hip here and bending my spine, I release the pelvis, letting the spine move freely with the pelvis. Okay, holding your extended angle here. Bring your vision towards your left foot. Good. Now, slowly, inhale, slightly start to straighten that left leg without locking out the knee. Notice where your weight is in your left foot. You want a little more weight into the big toe side, okay? Just a little more, not so much that you can see your kneecap rolling out. Very Very nice. And reach your right hand back towards the right foot. Let the palm face up, or face forward, excuse me, right thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, draw the right hand up over the shoulder. Left hand is just resting on that left leg, or if you want a little more work, push your left hand into the right leg and let the left leg, and let the left leg press back. So my left hand is pushing in, my left leg is pushing out into the hand. And this is just a gentle push of those two forces. Exhale, bring it back into extended angle. Maybe you're resting that left forearm on the left upper thigh, or maybe that hand is going to continue to reach towards the floor. Very nice. Bring your vision towards your left hand. Cartwheel down into your low lunge. Sweep it all the way back into downward dog. Hold here or take a vinyasa. In your own time, take a slow walk forward to the top of the mat. Coming into forward fold. Inhale into flat back, draw the shoulders away from the ears, exhale, fold. Deep bend to the knees, reverse the swan dive, hands to your heart as you release your breath. Very good. Step the left side back into warrior two. Okay. Remember how when warrior two, if we were to hold here, we would firm the inner thighs, drop the rear hip down. You're going to feel that back leg work a lot. But we're going to go into extended angle, so we're not going to move that much into the warrior two. Let's go ahead and find your extended angle. Right forearm to the right upper thigh. Feel the right side of your body get nice and long. Continue to shift your pelvis towards the short edge of your mat behind you. Very good. Bring your vision towards your lead foot. And then slowly work on straightening the lead leg without letting yourself roll forward to that long edge. And if you need to come up a little bit, if the inside of your leg or the back of your leg is really uncomfortable with this, come up a little bit. Good. Notice how it feels into the right hip. See if you can find balance in your right hip joint, right? Does it feel really tight on the inside thigh on the right? Or does it feel like your right butt cheek is really pushing out? Find balance in that right hip joint. Do the same in your right knee and the same in the right foot. Good. Reach the left hand towards the left foot. Thumb points up towards the ceiling. Inhale the hand up over the shoulder. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Focus into your breath. Exhale, bend the right knee, moving back into your extended angle. Bring your vision towards your front foot, and we're going to cartwheel down into low lunge. Sweep it all the way back into downward dog. Hold here or take a vinyasa. Gently set the knees to the floor and take child pose. right, shift up onto hands and knees, swing the legs through, coming onto seated. Very nice. Sit up nice and tall through the spine. And see if you can find your sit bones. Stay on the sit bones and off of the tailbone. All right. So you don't have to cross your legs the way I do, right? You can have your legs here if you want. I just want you to be comfortable. All right. Sit up nice and tall. Feel the focus of your breath. Take the shoulders more over the hips so that you can feel all the muscles in your spine relax, or in your back relax. So the spine is supporting you. Take the head directly over the spine. Very nice. Okay, extend the legs out in front of you unless they're already there. Toes are over our heels, but make sure that your heels are not lifting off the floor. Take a big breath in, sweep hands up overhead. Exhale, gentle bow as you release your breath, keeping the spine nice and long, just like when you're standing, right? So we want to avoid rounding. Reach through the chest. Belly and upper thighs coming together. You're doing great. If you feel this in the back of the legs a little too much, create a couple fists, slide them underneath the knees. That'll lessen the stretch in the back of the legs. If you need a little more, bow the forehead. Take your hands to your upper thighs before coming up. Push your hands into the upper thighs. Very nice. All right, crisscross the legs. We're going to be twisting here. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, twist towards the right, releasing one hand to the front, one hand to the back. Those can come to the floor or prop. Good. Press your left hip in towards the floor, keeping this out of your low back. Belly is very engaged here. If you want a little more, take that left hand to the outside of your right upper thigh. The left palm is facing away from me. Let your right shoulder blade move towards the left shoulder blade and sink the right shoulder down away from the ear. Find the space on the right side of your neck. On the inhale, bring everything back to center, hands draw up overhead. Exhale, twisting to our left. Pushing into that right hip, keeping this out of your low back, working into the center spine, your thoracic spine. Again, if you want more, right hand can come to the outside of that left upper thigh, palm faces away from you. Squeeze the left shoulder blade towards the right and drop the left shoulder away from your ear. Very nice. Inhale back to center, hands drop overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right. For some reason, my phone is acting funny, so I make sure that I have power. Okay, so go ahead and come onto your back, and knees are bent in pawn gesture. Hopefully I'm not going to lose you. My phone says low power mode, so I don't know why I'm plugged in, but we're going to wrap this up really quick, and I'll let you do your Shavasana on your own, so just in case. All right, so on to our back in pawn gesture. Take your hands to your low belly and let the weight of your hands relax your low back to the ground. Once you feel that it has relaxed down towards the floor, press the heels towards the ceiling. Take your hands to the sides if you like to stabilize you. I like to have my arms out at about 45 degrees. And we're just gonna pedal in the air and shift left to right very gently. And you can see that the contact between my foot and the opposite leg is not lost. So I keep the legs together and I'm just shifting left to right. This is a nice massage to the low back, to the lumbar, and to the sacrum. It's not a very big movement. All right, and then let's bring it back into center. Very nice. Set the heels to the floor and big toes out to each side of the mat. Let your right knee come to center and the left knee splay away. Take your left hand and rest it on your left inner thigh. So we're going to hit the psoas muscle on that right side. It's a nice stretch here. If you want to intensify the stretch on the right side, reach your right hand up overhead, resting that right hand on the floor, and let the right palm face to center. All right, and let's switch sides. Bring right hand back down. Left knee to center, right knee splays away. My right hand is going to rest on the right inner thigh. If you are needing more, reach your left hand up overhead, resting on the floor. Left palm faces to center. If you sit a lot during the day, this is a great stretch for the psoas muscle. Psoas muscle attaches into the low back, and when it gets tight, it pulls on the low back. Very nice. One more cycle of your breath here. Deep, slow inhale. Soft, steady exhale. And release. Bring the soles of the feet together and relax the knees out into your supine butterfly. Let's hold here for a few moments. And when you're ready, find a shape you can relax in for your Shavasana. So So any shape that you might want, whether that's continuing to lay on your back, maybe you want to be seated, maybe laying on your side or on your belly. You choose what works best for you today, with the body that you're working with today. All right, take a few deep inhales and exhales here. Deep, slow, steady, and smooth. There's no race. This is at your time. This is your practice. So I encourage you to stay here for another 5 to 10 minutes, letting yourself relax in this shape, keeping the mind as quiet as possible. If your mind starts to wander, bring your focus back to the breath. Following the breath will keep you present in the moment. As always, the honor has been all mine. Namaste.